call this meeting to order? Nope, I'm good. I'm good. Is there any changes to the agenda?
I'd like to.
Hearing none?
No, that's not. We need to add a pledge of allegiance. Website update, election stamp, window for the office, shredder, new phone, deputy payroll, resolution, FICA and Medicare.
Why isn't that put on my sheet over here? I got the first two things.
We also need another public comment. We can't put that in there.
And a resolution 24-3 for principal payment for Jackson County.
And I've already picked the name.
She didn't say yes, she didn't say no.
She didn't say no yet.
She's still moving.
I know. Are you doing this all prior to the
Yep.
review? You see that? Right there?
I'm trying to.
How's the shredder and the new phone over there?
Well, the
Are they answer
shredder
the
is
phone?
Carol, and our phone, we have worked on it, and it keeps going to line 4, and when you call in, all it does is just ring. And we called, we used the book, and we called and asked for help, and it still doesn't work. So,
I've had a lot of systems.
well, so if you're on line, yeah, if you're on line 3, it goes to line 4, and it just goes, you don't get anybody. And all 4 lines will ring. Well, I should have just added it to all of yours.
Well, yeah, it'd be different if it was one thing. Okay. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as changed? Is there support? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no, motion carried. Okay, pledge allegiance. Please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, hand me my paper back so I can see what I have.
Would you like me to read it?
No?
Website update.
The other page.
Website update.
So Carol would like to start taking, credit cards for the township, and our website will not hold what we have, so we need to update it and, take credit cards.
So it'll just be a tab there that they can click on.
Right.
So, I mean, we can kind of go to that question, or just fill out the form and do the credit card
And all those fees would be paid by the user.
They have to be paid by the.
Yep. So it'd be a no-brainer on our end to execute that, wouldn't it? I mean,
It's just setting up the website so they.
So we haven't got to get the website set up
So,
first.
are you in filling out the permit or the?
No,
paperwork?
no, no, so,
No, but Ashley can accept credit cards.
Okay.
So Carol and Ashley will work together and pay credit card money instead of just cash. Check.
so like, the way that other townships are going to do it is they'll do the consultation, $100, and then like 2.5 to 3% charge for the credit card, it's a separate thing. that it's right up front, they get charged for that.
I thought it was
It's a good thing.
looking at the bills.
Right, exactly. It's on everything else. It's on everything else.
Oh, okay.
So what do we have to do then, just have Charlie add that?
$2,000, I make a motion to approve the website for an update for $2,000 for Charlie Westa out of the 23-24 budget.
Is there support? Spend money. Christine?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Priscilla?
Yes.
Bryce? I'll vote yes, motion carries. Election stamps?
Election stamps, I'd like to take and purchase my election stamps, for the next two elections tonight out of the 23-24 budget. So I make a motion to approve the clerk to buy, or to pay $2,300 for 1,800 2-ounce stamps for election, and a motion to pay 700 regular stamps to take out of the 23-24 budget, which is rounded about $2,300.
Is that, that's all going up, that postage is all going
I
up.
was just gonna say that it's going up next June, July.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Is there support on that?
I suppose she's the.
Okay. Roll call, Bryce? I'll vote yes. Priscilla?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Christine?
Yes.
Motion carried. Okay, window for the office?
2,300, it's I had Tim do it today, it's $22.92. And that's for 19, 2-ounce stamps and 800 regular stamps. So I put 700 and 1,800, but he did 1,900 and 800. So let's amend that motion to 19 and 800, so it comes up to 22.92. So that's,
Well, you said 2,300.
Okay.
As long as it's below.
I just wanna make sure I get those
Yeah,
things.
okay. All right, so, window. for the
Windows,
office?
so, we took 3 bids, but only 2 bids came back. For the window between the first door and the second door in the township office, the window towards
East side,
Carroll on the east side,
Facing me.
facing Carroll. We would like to change that window to a sliding window. Yeah, and then have a 12-inch, overhang counter, so there's that little bit of overhang for the customer on that side, and then a 24-inch on this side, so that we can move the computer over, the one on wheels over, and it can work out of there.
What about
so
the
they don't have
drive-through?
to- I mean, one person doesn't have to come in.
Right.
I did, I took round trip bid was
There's a
$3,023. And windows and doors was $2,855, and the third bid never came back. That was windows and door storage. Jackson, but they are township residents. That would be Tim Kelly, Bill Chapin said it, when he, he said he was busy, and then he stopped by and looked, and then he never did it.
Okay, so you're making that motion?
So I'm making the motion to have Jackson door and window add the countertop and replace window to the foyer for the total of $2,888, or $2,855 out of the 23-24 budget.
Is there support? Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, yes? Priscilla? Carol?
Yes.
Christine? Right?
I just wanna make sure that the 12 inches that we're adding on the outside of the door meets the fire code. I'll just check with the fire department to make sure that we can do that. And it's the doorway.
Shredder and new phone,
Actually,
do they go together?
if it could. That would be fun though,
The
wouldn't
rest
it?
would be interesting.
So the shredder that the treasurer has, it is, the wheel's broken, and you have to kind of kick it, and then you just keep the clothes and work. There's some days I just enjoy like that. So that's why we need a new shredder, and the phone, I think Ursula already described, is that line 2 doesn't work anymore, and it goes into line 4, and it just cycles back to back. And then
It never comes up.
and you can't even pick it up at that point, and you can't even pick it up at the base, so.
How much is the shredder? What kind of things do we have?
The shredder from Office Max is around $250, they have a Kukan, 250,
And then-
25.
Is that the only thing
Mhm.
for the- on the shredder?
No, I didn't think that it was.
And how much should we be checking the phone system?
Shouldn't be over, what, less than $300.
Is it a whole?
It's a free,
Usually that last time.
It's-
it's just a, it's one of those plug-in phones, it's a, one that you plug into the
It's
wall.
already got programmed at this cheap version.
It's just, you just need a phone.
I need
No.
equipment for, I need 3 handsets,
Oh, so you, okay.
one for Marcella, myself, and Ashley.
Is it a, one like we have now?
Yes.
Is it wireless?
Yeah, the wire, the 3
Yes.
handsets.
Yes.
We're just replacing the one we
Oh.
have. We're not doing it up.
The actual phone is broken, like the thing is on transfer, right, is that?
No, the lines where they go in,
Okay.
when you call, when somebody calls in, if I'm on line 3, line 2 doesn't work at all. If I'm on line 3, it goes to line 4, and then everybody's phone rings.
So it'll be solved, it's not just that, yeah.
No,
No.
this is like a dial-up phone, this is like a whole.
Like, oh, we have to work.
So 10 years old, I think.
Okay.
It'd be nice to have voice over internet, but.
But ours goes, I think it goes through the internet, I think the ethernet goes into it, because when somebody calls, it goes to my email.
That's voice over internet.
So,
So that is something that's about $25.
We're not at it.
You have one.
Okay, so, you wanna make, those motions?
People are pressing. Not those.
That's only a few $100.
Yeah. I think if you go 300, I'm not. Bryce, are you one of them?
I'm getting there now.
Oh, you don't have one. Oh, goodness.
Really? I apologize, I didn't notice when you walked by.
That's why I don't like it when they sit there. We can't hear anything you guys are saying.
Well, and you will.
No shit, Tracy.
Okay, you wanna make a motion?
Your turn.
Okay. I make a motion that we obtain a shredder for the treasurer and a new office phone for the township hall. Shredder being $250 and the phone being $600.
Any further discussion?
And to be taken out of the township property budget
For
for
2023,
equipment. For
24?
2023.
Okay. Been supported, anything else? Okay, Priscilla? Carol? We already did that.
So why can't they just do it?
Rick? I'll vote yes, motion carries. Okay, payroll for deputy supervisor?
So I have, the deputy supervisor's payroll. So, and even though how we're gonna handle that, it says $1,000, we pay monthly, and it's monthly, payroll. Labor board says we have to pay monthly.
Right,
So how do we?
we've never
pay
done it
this
with the
person?
deputy supervisor, because it was, always underneath the $1,000 limit on my line item. And so she's only ever submitted one bill a year. Nobody's ever said that, she has to submit more than one bill a year. And this year especially, she's had a lot of calls this year. And I think we all understand why. So she's doing.
I'm not saying she's not.
No, I
doing her
understand,
job.
but as
I'm
far,
just saying that
I
we
think,
come up with a plan.
there again, I think moving forward, if you want one every month, then she can provide one every month, moving forward.
I think that would be good to follow the labor laws that way.
Sure,
So
sure.
Submit everything.
It's never even been brought up or anything before, but it certainly, she certainly can do that, as we all do, submit one. So that's not a problem. No?
So I'll need court approval for this payroll.
Okay.
You want to make a motion?
So I make the motion to pay Amy Adams $1,000 for deputy supervisor, but going forward, it will be a monthly or no further payment will be authorized.
Okay, is there support? Okay, any further discussion?
I'm not giving it.
Hearing none, we'll roll call. Carol? Christine?
Yes.
Right? I'll vote yes. Priscilla?
Yes.
Motion carries. Okay, resolution 2024-3.
And that's in your packet. It's on the last thing in the packet.
And as you and I have talked on this, we can confirm that we can make this payment, without any interruption from the county or the USDA.
That's what I was told, is if we put it on the payment itself, with the payment of it,
It goes right on the principal.
and we'll make it known that it's a principal payment.
And this would be aside from the other principal and interest, principal and interest payment that we have coming up, correct?
It's in addition to that.
Yes,
So it
okay.
ends up being what, 183?
I brought it right up. So we are gonna pay for $30,636.40 as our scheduled
Say
payment.
that one more time.
$30,636.40. 23,000 of that is gonna be principal. Interest is $7,636.40. That is our payment for the year, or for the 6 months, for the, coming up for April.
Okay.
And, $7,640.
So the 150, 23,000 for principal, and then the 150, 183,000.
And then that's what payment going on?
No,
No.
no.
Much more to go.
375. The last
Still-
time I knew,
so
I had,
probably still 2.25. Yeah, we got,
Yeah, like
200,000.
okay. All right,
Oh my God, Bryce, speak up, please.
Speak up, we like to hear it.
I'm sorry, is there enough money to go and have a reserve in our general fund for other emergency services?
Yes.
well, the way the budget is proposed right now, we're still at 68
$68,000 negative.
negative, but those are, you know, there's numbers built into there that, you know, we've never overspent, not much, no, no. We're still reassured of that.
So right now it's about six hundred and eighty.
Are you listening to me?
And that's before we make this.
It'd be nice if we could see what they're.
So we're gonna take,
No, 183,000. Because this resolution is $150,000.
and we're still making our payment.
And we are obligated to 23,000.
Yeah, and then also keep in mind that, you know, the general fund is the guarantee of that bond that we have to pay. And the quicker we can get it paid up, the less interest that we have to pay out of the general fund as we move forward. As Carol and I talked yesterday, that project was built on projections. And we are not seeing those projections pan out because we're not having people hook up like they anticipated, like Jeff Snyder anticipated when he constructed that. So, the sooner we can get it paid off, the better off we are gonna be, the better off Rives Township will be in the long haul. We're at, so we started in 08, 24, so we still got 24 more years of payments to make on that if we don't continue to get paid up.
Really?
So right now we're paying about $15,000 a year for this. So this is kind of cutting.
One thing about it too is that we basically selected a small group of individuals in the township to get special treatment.
No, this doesn't, the interest,
The township.
right, the
We are
interest,
all responsible.
the
for this.
interest that's
What I'm
being
saying is
charged.
that ultimately, only the people in the village that are looking at District 2, will be living in District 3 in the next 3.5 miles, 4 miles up to the school.
Well, it's the township debt, it's
Right.
not,
It's not,
it's not the village debt, it's
Right.
everybody's debt.
When it came down, I complained about it bitterly.
and we all did, and we all knew what kind of, BS that Jeff Snyder was selling us. But it didn't matter, obviously the board wouldn't have changed it at that point, we all knew that. He voted for it, I voted against it, you know that, Bryce, I mean, we're in this together, there's nothing we can do about it. We have no choice but to continue to pay that up.
24 more years, huh?
That's what, if we don't pay up, we pay 24 years.
So you're only paying down, like if we didn't make this extra payment, we'd be paying maybe 23,000 this year, probably 25 next year.
Every year, this kind of amount.
If we can,
Or are we looking at maybe pricing or something like that? I don't know.
if we can. Was somebody cold when they got here?
Can we
Turn it down.
Turn that down, turn the air on.
No. Jesus.
Oh.
Plug the microphone in, how about that?
Woo.
We can't hear.
Give us budgets, how about that?
Okay, so, all right, have you made that motion?
I make the motion to pay, to approve the resolution 24-3, Township of Rives, to make the advance principal payment to the County of Jackson in the amount of $150,000 from the Township General Fund to reduce the general fund's future liability on the sewer bond, and to pay the, payment that is due on April 1st, 2024 of
Let's make those two
$30,000.
separate motions, because that second one's got nothing to do with the
Oh,
resolution.
okay.
So let's stop it at the resolution. Is there a support on that part?
One more question. Did you get this run through legal?
You what?
Did you get this run through legal?
For what? We paid extra
Well, this
in the
resolution
past.
that was-
We used the same one that was done before.
Okay, so, is there support on that?
So we're doing 150 for,
Yep.
I will support the 150.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, Christine, Bryce? I'll vote yes, Priscilla? Carol?
Yes.
Motion carried. Okay, now go ahead with the,
I make a motion to pay the principal and interest payment in the amount of $30,636.40, which is due on May first, but has to be paid to the county before April 1st of 2024.
I'll
Okay.
support.
thank you. Is there any further discussion on that? Hearing none, Bryce?
How many loans we got?
I'll vote yes. Priscilla?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Christine? Motion carried. Okay, FICA and Medicare?
I need to, on the 2023, budget, I need to amend the 2023-24 budget account numbers 101-863-71600 and 101-863-717-00. And, I need to move money into those accounts from the FICA or for FICA and Medicare, because the, budget was 0 for that.
That last line number, could you read it, please? 101-703.
101-863-717-000.
Thank you.
So the FICA and the Medicare is not budgeted for
Right,
last year, okay.
so we need to move money from,
All of that. That makes it necessary, can't it? It's
Right.
not like we can abate it.
Right.
Right.
Choose that. I don't think we want to pay that.
from township property improvements of a total of $17,000 to accommodate both of those account numbers.
And that gives you enough for the last March
It's
payment?
14, we're at right now.
14/2/0.
Yeah, 14,502,003. So I added 3,000 or 2,500 to it, to make sure we had enough to pay the last. So if you go through the budget, you'll see, like, under the zoning officer, he has 0 for Medicaid and FICA throughout the whole budget. And then down here, where it's taken out, on the amended budget, it's 0. So I did fix that on this new budget coming forward.
Right, they're all added in there now. Okay, so that was made in the form of a motion, Priscilla? Okay, is there support on that? Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no, motion carried. Okay, on to the budget. Priscilla put the budget on the diet this year, that's why she brought me a pot. Oh, it's, yeah, she beat it up pretty good. So as we move down the list, looking at the estimated revenues, we've got a boost in our revenue sharing again. Which, I know Carol had mentioned that she thought that it might not be there the following year.
It's only a small, what, $1,400, $1,500?
20, or 22, I was looking at.
That it might be down,
drop.
yeah, okay,
The state's estimating that they'll shave it.
right. So that gave us a little boost there, but, everybody looking through that, if there's any questions on the, revenue side.
And if look at the 23-24, at the bottom, it says due to property tax, that's 32,652. It's on your budget at the bottom. That has been corrected, going forward. It's not on our going into 24-25 cause we corrected it in 23 during the millage.
And same with the, ARPA money up top, that money is not figured into this budget, because that money, technically as of this month or last month, it's
Oh,
gone.
we have to decide also about talking about roads, if we're gonna keep that 80,000 in roads.
Well,
Because,
let's talk about that when we get to that.
Okay.
All right? Okay, onto the township board. There again, you know, some cuts were made. Drop the, you know, cause what we're down, 4,000, a little over 4,000 from what we were a year ago, or this year. Auditors up a little bit, we dropped the legal fees down. Insurance, that's up a little bit from what we anticipated from last year.
I thought it was supposed to go down.
There again, anybody, have any questions on any of that?
All kinds of questions.
Supervisor, we brought that down about 23,000.
what? 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 23,000?
I'm sorry,
What do you mean?
2,300.
Mhm.
The 23,000 is doing this job for $12.
Thank you very much, Jerry.
I quit.
I did it correctly.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, 2,300. Same way with the clerk, we dropped that, that's down a
So,
little over 4,000.
looking, Carol and I dropped our deputies down 1,000. Are we just going to drop the deputy supervisor, the 1,000, since we've already dropped ours?
You want me to drop it 1,000?
Yep.
No, how do you drop it
That's all
1,000?
she
It's
makes.
a
That's
1,000.
all she makes.
It's
Come on.
1,000, you can't drop it 1,000.
Right, but the deputy supervisor is not a requirement.
No, but it is, that, she works at my discretion as your deputies do for you. And there again, you know, somebody's gotta be there to answer that phone. And with all the, you know, with, the uncertainty of what we went through this last calendar year, my phone rang off the hook, you know, because that was one place people could call, that, you know, somebody would answer the phone or get back with them.
So, do we wanna take some of your money at the bottom to accommodate that?
We already
To
did,
accom-
we already
No,
took
I-
2,300 away,
Well, we all did too.
I
Everybody
know,
took
yeah.
money away.
but my budget's half of what your guys' are.
Well, we do more work than you.
Well, it's twice as much work. I think that's perfect. I'm not complaining about that.
Maybe
I'm
Stacy does more
thinking-
work than you.
It's a man thing.
Yeah, no,
It's a man thing.
no, that's just the way it
They
is,
think
that's
that
just
you
the way
get
it is.
paid more than women.
Yeah, but, like I say, we already took it down 2,300, I know you and I talked about the, on the salary side, and I think we're pretty darn close there. We've got one more month coming out of that.
So, a miscellaneous $200.
What is, I don't even know what was even charged for that,
$55.
yeah, what would that have been?
Yeah, I don't know. It's something that you asked.
56?
55,
Is that my, would that be my, lunches, or my dinners?
You don't eat much.
Not for the whole year, yeah, we eat at McDonald's, we buy a bunch of cheeseburgers, then we go sit under a tree and talk about township actions.
I think we need to bring a phone donor.
55, 56.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know where else we can cut it, I mean, like I said, we took it down 2,300.
You raised it $12. $12. Have you ever used your equipment line?
Maybe for a laptop, which I get one every,
$100 you're getting a laptop for?
oh, yeah, I've been really good with it, they last a long time. No, we probably lowered it because I didn't need one.
Okay.
There again, I don't know what that equipment would have been, oh, I'm looking at the clerk's line, I'm sorry. So I didn't have any equipment last year. Yeah, I think that was just lowered because it's to the point now I don't even use that laptop. You know, it's awful, you can't turn it on if you, every time you turn it on, you gotta reboot it about 4 times to get it to work.
I didn't use the internet at all.
What's that?
Yes, I do. So,
How'd you get past like $6.99?
all right,
So
clerk,
are we budging with your telephone, since it's not playable?
the telephone, that's my internet, telephone, and long distance on the house phone, is what that's always been.
Oh, okay.
So it's not just, because there's calls that I will make from my, from my landline.
Well, it used to be playable, but
You know, that's a discussion for another day.
well, I think it's right here now.
There again, that's a discussion for another day on that. I mean, I have no intention of ever giving up my phone, nor does Christine or Carol or Priscilla, you know,
Well, I took my phone money out,
right?
there's no phone money.
But even if there was, do you have any intention of giving it to
Well,
somebody?
my phone's not paid for at all by
Correct.
township.
Correct.
Neither is
I
mine.
don't care
Correct.
if I'm on the phone for 8 hours, I'm
I
not submitting a
understand.
bill to
I
you.
understand.
The township's paying for it, it's playable.
Well, there again, not according to the attorney.
Which attorney are we talking about?
I leave you do work on your personal phone, or cell phone, so
I don't have much
use
trust
my
in
computer at work.
one.
Well, that, like I said, that's
We're going by millage?
that's your, that
So,
was spread
are
in
we-
Vic Mobile.
So are we taking the $100 off your equipment
I don't care.
and your $200 miscellaneous, cause we're gonna accommodate this
Where
$1,000.
does the lunches come out of? For the dinners? Where does that come out of?
Salary, supervisor
Is that under
salary.
salary? Okay. So yeah, you can take both of them away, or miscellaneous and the, or the equipment.
There's a supervisor, clerk, and treasurer motion.
Of course.
So that takes it down to 24,200.
Yeah,
Right. Now we're gonna beat up the clerk's area.
well, you go right ahead, I've already taken cuts.
No, I know you have.
And none of us are getting pay increases, guys.
How do you know, how do
Did
you
you
know
get
that?
cuts?
Cuts.
Did you take cuts? Can you tell us how much cuts you?
No,
took?
no, that's, we're talking two completely different things. We didn't take pay cuts.
Right.
Just the budget is cut, not, there's no reduction in pay to anybody.
Well, we don't have anything, we're just listening, we don't have
Yeah,
anything.
we have nothing in front of us to even know what to look at.
You will next week.
By then
Should've
it's
had
too
'em
late.
today.
You
No.
just- Let's approve the budget and that's the end of it.
No, there'll be a public hearing, which we have to answer every one of your
That's
questions.
next week, right?
That's next week, yes.
We'll
So,
have a copy then, right? Okay.
they have to be available in the office to be picked up, I don't know what the time.
Is the office gonna be
Can't get in
open?
the
Right,
office.
you can't get in the office, there's no hours.
Can't even get a response. Don't worry, there's almost a second.
Can't even get an appointment.
Okay, let's keep it down, please. I'm sorry?
I said, you asked. We're just answering what you asked.
And when will they be available? Monday.
Okay, anything on, the clerk's, situation? I mean, you got that tightened up pretty good, Priscilla. You're down, like I say, you're down 40, better than 4,000 from a year ago.
That was budget? Of department?
Board of review,
We had to go up with them because they had no FICA and no Medicare.
correct, yep, that's right. So those are the only two things we went up on there, wasn't it? Printing and publishing went up a little bit.
Well, that's
Couple
because, when they do that overall, for this county,
Yeah.
it came back higher than,
Right.
what we had money for.
Yeah.
So what are our trailer fees?
Where are you at?
I'm on,
She's back on the button.
No, wait a minute. What are you doing back there?
She's on page one.
only because it stood out to me and I didn't.
That's from, Sherman Oaks. For revenue on,
Oh, that's our revenue that we get paid from.
yes, from.
That's all we get a year? They get like 1,500 a trailer for like lot rent or whatever.
Oh, yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's crazy. We
Yeah.
should
Oh, yeah, we don't,
tax them more.
oh, yeah, it's, that whole subdivision, the trailer park is a drain on the township. They pay very little in tax and we have to provide them with all the fire and rescue support. And we're there all the
I
time.
know.
All the time. Okay, on the treasurer's side, we're down, a little over $6,000 from a year ago on that. I don't think there's really anything else we can do there.
But the requested budget's back up to 29.5.
Correct, because she has a salary.
And she,
It's the bottom line I'm looking at.
So if you look
Right
at-
50,000.
Grace, if you're looking at your 31,000, she went to 29.5 across. From
From last year.
from last year to this year, it's 29.5.
But so far this year, we've only spent 25,633.11.
Yeah, there's one more month to go.
One more month.
That'll probably push it up to.
On to the assessor.
So, if you look at the assessor, says assessor salary at the top, or the top line. She is actually a contract service assessor, not our assessor, so we moved down the line item all the way over and we added the, she was,
This is a contract price, correct?
right,
Right, and if, and of course, that 1% admin fee is what's designed to pay for most of that.
so if you see the 29 and the 11 under the activity, Bryce, that's where you get the total, cause it's on 2 lines.
29,608.80,
And,
but then there's nothing projected for the requested budget.
right, because it's down a couple of lines on, at
4 lines down.
44,000.
The contract
Oh, I
services.
see.
Cause technically, she's not our assessor,
You know, she's not really an employee, she's a assessor, you know, a contract from the county. Okay, moving down to elections. You cut that one hard. Are you gonna be okay? You got some big elections coming this year.
well, I just paid for all the stamps, and I have, the supplies, all the absentee ballots, paper, or envelopes already bought. August election is ready to be, it's all put together and ready to be mailed, so.
So you think you,
Make another motion to get enough stamps together for all the elections this year.
I did,
Oh.
August and November, that's what I make sure we have enough August and November. And, we will get money back for the, February election for reimbursement, and that will go back into salary and wages, right? So the salary and wages that I just paid out, will come back into this budget, so that will increase a little bit. Supplies, I went to 3,500, and, I pretty much have my stuff ready for this election.
Okay, so you think you're okay there then? Good.
You spent so far this year $831.98 on the last election.
That would have been everything this year.
That's everything this year.
You mean 18?
No,
18.
Right above the 18, 831.98, it talks about,
Supplies.
supplies.
Oh.
Yeah. And then we did postage, so my amended budget was 12,000 for postage and went down to 4,000 because I'm gonna buy all the election postage now. So I won't need, that's where you're getting a lot of we're saving money by doing the postage now instead of in August and November. Printing and publishing, I stays the same. And equipment, I did talk to Sally with Election Source today. We have one printer that we use that Judy bought, back in May, then we have,
It's not that much.
we can go to Best Buy for buying a printer for just printing off our, result at the end of the night, so, we'll be looking at that, and then we have to, have our VAT, when they did the downloads, our VAT needs to be, I had to do a hard start on the one VAT during the election to get it to start, so they're supposed to come and look at that, so that's why we stayed at 6,000 for the equipment.
Well, there again, as long as you're comfortable with where you're at.
Yep.
Moving down to township property,
Who do we have doing the cleaning of the various buildings?
Nobody,
I'm looking at it.
you're looking at them, we do our own. And Margaret helps us, and I've taken that out of my deputy wage. So she helps me, we mopped the fire hall, steamed it with my steamer, and we cleaned the toilets on all of the fire stations, the 2 fire stations in the township office. We kept the $500, cause Carol would like to have the carpet shampooed at the office. And so that's why we went from 1250 to 500. And we dropped our supplies from 800 to 500.
and we dropped improvements down from 150 to 10, because we didn't have any intention of putting up the building at all. Or purchasing a building.
Cemetery care, I left it at 12, or we left it at 12, just because, we have 2 bids for lawn mowing. Yeah, that's all I have right now is 2. Yeah,
We got till when?
to the 18th. Oh, well, today's what, the 20th?
Yes.
Yeah, so I have 2
So
bids.
yes, you have
I
to.
was gonna say, I think it's past due, yeah.
My days are running together.
Can you run them down to us right now?
No, they're sealed bids, so
Oh, they have to be opened at the.
they have to be opened at the meeting.
Mhm.
So I have those.
Fire department, we cut that one pretty good. We don't have any intention of purchasing a new truck this year.
So it didn't come out of our budget,
No, it did not, it came out of ARPA funds, which,
which was.
thank you, COVID,
Everybody paid.
yeah. Well, everybody paid for it, but at least our township got the benefit from it. So,
Yeah, we didn't get any testing out of here.
I don't know,
No healthcare.
everything looks
So-
good on that end.
I
Money we're supposed to be using for.
looked, we did quite a bit off in the fire, I looked at what the fire budget was and made sure,
You know, it's about, not too
You're a
much
little
above it.
more than what the fire
Yeah, a
budget
little,
was,
little
but
bit more, but not too much.
that 50,000 that we have on equipment, they've already, got their wish list, and it was approved at the fire board meeting.
And we did
So
that
we
all
had
out
to
of
make sure we covered that.
Yeah.
And the fire safety gear, we had to go up, because they get to have 3 fire gears, or 3 safety gears a year. So we had to accommodate that price.
Maybe 3 or 4.
3,
3 this year.
that's what we called Brian, and we asked to make sure, when we were making sure we had everything on numbers for. So when Jerry called me the other night to ask, it was, we could answer some questions.
What, we only argued on the phone for what, an hour and a half?
You know, we did not,
That was a
No,
record,
we
huh?
didn't, no, it wasn't,
we did not.
No, we didn't, we just.
I asked for numbers,
Yeah,
and then he would say, well, what's your numbers?
yeah, no kidding.
What's
Yeah,
your
here, do
numbers?
this so I can speed it up. Okay,
Question.
Yep.
Gas and oil for the fire department, I see that we went down considerably.
That's what Melanie has on her fire station bill, the budget.
Why does she feel that way?
That's what she's got, and that's what we went with. We matched what we approved at the fire board meeting.
I think we're gonna have to probably get together midway through the next year and adjust that.
Well, there again, as long as it doesn't go over in that department, then we don't have to meet on it. As long as they don't go over the budget, there's a.
Big enough difference that I think it will.
Well, yeah, I agree, but there again, following with what Melanie said.
We followed Melanie's budget.
So the total fire budget was what, 295?
290.
Then the only thing that doesn't,
68% or 58% of that, right?
and then the remainder of that is all, our 2 firehouses that we take care of and those types of things.
So our share of Melody's budget is pretty much 68.2.
And it's just overall, that's not bad, not for having a fire department like we have.
Here's our fire. She's got gas and oil for 5,000, and that's what we.
No, if it's low, it'll be adjusted.
I think we'll have plenty in that 55, or that 50,000, cause they have only 32 something,
Right, yeah, so there's
a
some extra
budget
there
there.
that can be used if
That-
need be. Building department, we moved everything into this, section with those new account numbers, right, Rochelle?
We have not,
We have not,
no,
But we-
we're on the chart of accounts, we're on phase 5, we have to go to phase 7.
so,
We're hoping by the end of the month, we can flip those over.
okay.
But the budget reflects the new numbers, right?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
But when you do those charts, accounts, all that stuff will be transferred.
We haven't gotten our chart of accounts done. Did you see that email yesterday?
And the building department is such a toss of a coin, you just don't know what's going on in your township as far as, how many houses are gonna be built. We don't know this, so that's a guesstimation just on what is going on around us. So hopefully we've got that positioned in, of course, we can't make any money on it. So there's a hand in on that department, because we have to send that all out, bring it in and send it out. So,
And then these bottom ones, they have our old chart of accounts that we had to adjust. So,
So from 380 to 383.
we're going to.
is the planning commission. There again, we shrunk down the legal fees. And we still, with some other adjustments, we're still about $1,800 less than we were a year ago on that end. Zoning Board of Appeals, we have an increase there because, seems like we've got a lot more activity on that already.
Yeah, and, we will need to, move money for zoning board of appeals for legal, cause they had 0 in their account. And Roger needed to call, Chris Blackwell.
Right.
So we gotta amend that budget.
You're talking 23-24.
Yeah, the
Yes.
23-24 budget
Yeah.
has to be amended.
But we
for
haven't got that bill yet to know what that charge is.
But we'll still have to amend.
Right, we'll have to throw something in there.
Cause, for 23-24, there was a lot of zeros on this account. So we had to put in things for the we added the FICA and the Medicare in.
Next to sidewalk streams, we haven't really spent any money in there in the last several years, so we shrunk those down. We don't have any money coming in this year on the Metro Act, right?
And we got our money from last year.
Right, but for 24-25, we don't have it coming.
They don't do so.
Right.
Unless they adjust their, and we did leave it in our revenue.
Yep, yeah, we did.
But,
Yes.
they're supposed to adjust their rates, so we didn't know exactly what their rates are, their rate increase on Metro Act was.
Is there any, people that have complained about the sidewalks being more than 2 inches dip between?
Not, I mean, they have it to me, and I'll be honest with you, I don't walk those sidewalks at all. I know we definitely can look at it. We did do some work 2 years ago, I think, on Palmer. We can look at it.
Can we find out what plan at some
I
point?
was looking for it 2 years ago, I couldn't find it, so I don't know what
Oh,
they did.
right.
I think they did it, it was very small somewhere.
Sure. Street lights, those are pretty much right on 2,500.
How much is the saving? Put those
So
other
we
ones.
got probably half, again, probably another couple $1,000 since those LEDs all in.
Talking about savings, can we, like at the next meeting, go and put a motion in to get programs of thermostats so we can, have them programmed after, so at certain times at night they would, go down?
No, I mean, it depends on what kind you buy, because a lot of them have to be, a lot of those are internet based.
No, mine isn't
Not off,
internet-based.
so you're not talking off your phone?
No, I'm
Oh.
just talking about programming it here at the,
This one doesn't do it?
No. That's just simple on or off or either phone.
So just in case we forget to turn it down, right?
Or yeah, it's, colder at night,
Right.
during the day.
Consumers gives those
The
away for free.
question is, how do you do, I mean, they're not done by the date, they're done by the day. And we don't
Yeah,
have
but
meetings every day.
You can adjust it, you can adjust it
you
too.
can adjust it when
Like,
you're
just because
here.
it's set for it to be off like during the day, cause maybe nobody's here, if you're here, you can
No, I'm
change it.
thinking the other way. So if we say we have meetings here every Thursday, which we don't, it's gonna be set to come on at 5:30 to 68 degrees, but yet we don't have a meeting this Thursday. That's where I'm going on the other side, so, which means the building's gonna heat up, but there's no meeting. So how do you
So they're just
program
gonna
it?
have somebody come in and push it up during the day, and when they're here, adjust it.
But then you can program it, like it, 9 o'clock at night.
To automatically drop to 55 or whatever, yeah, that would make sense.
Just in
Cause
case
sometimes I
Yeah.
walked in here and it's like up, that's why I'm asking.
Because someone has left it, not turned it down. So maybe we could program it that,
Put a
8
sign
o'clock,
up.
it just
Don't forget.
kicks back, roads, we've, Priscilla and I have a meeting first week of April with Jim Cole County. And
Yeah, so my question is, do we wanna put any money in roads, cause we have no jurisdictions to roads?
Did you read this?
Oh, no, I know.
Oh, Jerry
Oh,
knows.
Trust me.
It's in this month, this
See-
came out, I mean, hell.
Oh, no, it's there, but the problem is, the county does not get enough funding to cover everything, everything's,
$22 million
You're-
just for roads,
you're not
Jerry,
wrong, you're not
and
wrong.
there's only 18 townships.
Correct, but it's not divided equally,
No,
it's all population based, which means
they only get.
your Blackman, Spring Arbor, Summit, Leone, that's where all the money's gonna go, if it was divided up that way. So, I mean, you were talking that we might get 1.2 million.
Well, if you divided it by 18,
Correct, but if we,
They're never gonna do that.
right, we're gonna end
But-
up getting, what, maybe $300,000, I mean, I don't know what it's based on, it's based off population, but I don't know the number that is figured in it. It's how
so
that's
if we're
broken.
paying 70% and they're
Yeah.
paying 30% and we're not doing very many roads
Yeah.
out of our money,
Then-
we're not getting our fair share.
Correct, right, and this is a fight that we've had for years with the county. See, we used to be 50-50 years ago,
Before that, it was 30-70, that was the opposite way.
not since I've been involved,
No, but when.
but maybe when your mom was on,
Yeah,
okay?
thing. And then it suddenly came up 50-50, I said, what happened there?
Right.
And nobody challenged it.
Well, and there again,
And all of a sudden,
and I can't even tell you when it changed, I just know when I first got on in 96, it was 50-50. And we had, time to pay. So we would do a road for $50,000 and we could stretch it out for 4 years, interest free. I even inquired with them on that and said, we could do a lot of road work in our township if you would divide it up and let us pay over 5 years.
Well, why are we paying anything if we can't do a grant to subsidize our budget?
The county has
That's
to do
where-
those grants for us.
Yeah, well, how do we know they're gonna do it for our township?
Well, here's-
Because
Right,
when I went through and was looking at doing the grant for the road, we don't have jurisdiction.
don't.
We don't have any of the information, that's what got me going on this.
right, okay, Berry Road, a few years ago, that was, federal aid money.
Mhm.
Rives Eaton Road, a few years ago, that was federal aid money. Churchill Road going north was federal aid money. Territorial going, east on Lansing Ave, that was federal aid money. Cooper, that was us.
Yeah.
That was our guy. So, I mean, I understand what you're saying, and I told you that we're gonna go in there, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna listen to what he's gotta say, you're gonna tell what your thoughts are.
My
And-
thoughts are, if I don't have jurisdiction,
Ah.
and it says there's a law that's an MCL law,
Alright,
Jerry.
yeah, Public Act 51.
No, we have an MCL.
Oh,
We
yeah,
have an MCL 247.669
Yep.
that tells us that we are not responsible for
correct.
roads.
I understand what it says.
That is.
But when was that put into play? 1947?
1951.
it started in 31 and then got
Right.
reenacted.
Yep,
Yep.
51.
So,
township, the MCL law, this ended any township road system. State law now requires that the county road commission keeps roads, bridges, culverts under their jurisdiction and reasonable repair so that the roads are reasonably
Okay.
safe and convenient for
That's-
public traffic.
that's the words you gotta look out for.
Yep.
Reasonable repair,
Mhm.
because all that means is they have to make sure that it's if a road is posted at 55, then they have to make sure that potholes are filled and everything, that you can drive 55.
And
If
stay
you've got
on
a,
the road.
yeah, and if you've got a subdivision road that may be posted at 25, or even if it isn't, well, same thing. You can have a subdivision road that can deteriorate almost to nothing. They only have to make it safe and passable for 25 miles an hour. See, this is a fight that we've been fighting with the county
So,
for
but
the
the
last.
township has no statutory obligation to maintain these public roads.
We don't, but here's the thing, if we don't,
But I'm
The
not at
county-
70%.
I
There's no way.
understand.
I mean, I
And
think we need to.
we've been fighting this and fighting this, I mean,
Yeah,
we meet with the county at the Supervisors Association once a year. And we beat him up, and we beat him up good.
Well, you beat him up all you want, but there's
Apparently not
MCL
doing
laws
any
he's
good,
got
because
about.
somehow or other, he went and did the change from 50-50 to 70-30.
Well, no,
Nobody-
that was done 2007 or 8.
But you say this is before he came on this.
Oh, yeah, Jim, that would have been probably before, that would have been 2 guys ago.
But he never looked into it any further than.
There
the rest
again,
of us.
he looks at the funding that's available and knows that he can't change that from 70-30 back to 50-50 because they don't have the funding. Okay, now,
So,
I've said this before, and I don't have that map with me, maybe we can print that off and bring
I
it
have
up.
that map.
Do you have that map? Okay, if you look at us countywide, and you take our township out of that, you can't believe the color that we've had since 2014 in our township. Better than any other township in the entire county as far as road work that's been done.
yeah, cause
Both on our
that's what
dime,
we're paying
okay,
for.
both on our dime, but also on the county's dime, and the federal aid money. So the communication, the lines of communication with the county, we've got a great relationship, okay? We do. And the amount of money that they've spent is because we're in there hounding their ass all the time. I mean, Jim Cole, I probably talk to him at least a couple times a month, just kinda going over things on what's going on in the area. If I see something that, you know, I will call him and alert him, you know, whether it be a tree that looks like it's coming down, or, you know, a large pothole that just, you know, appeared. But like I say, we're gonna sit down with them, and we're gonna talk to them, but I know what they're gonna say, okay? And the only reason I know what they're gonna say is because we've been dealing with this forever. And they just don't have the funding available to do everything that needs to be, and the downfall to this is you got all these townships statewide that are ponying up the dough with these road villages. The state's going to realize, if we don't take care of this, these people are gonna take care of it themselves,
Right.
okay? And it's unfortunate, because what was that road package that the county put together for us for a few years ago? It was $35 million. And that was like, what, 4.35 mils, for 20 years. You know, and that means that every road that they work on has to last 20 years. It has to outlast the bond of 20 years. So,
No guarantees on that,
well, no, absolutely not, but
once they got the money.
but it has to, you know, I mean, you know, you drive in other townships, Ingham County isn't too bad, but you get over to Calhoun, you might as well be driving on dirt road. If you get off the main road, you might as well be driving on a dirt road.
Yep.
Cause every road over there is just beat
Lost
to
a
death.
tire over there.
Beat to death. So, I mean, I understand what you're saying, you and I are gonna meet with them, but I think that we still need to continue to maintain our roads, because I know that
Well,
they
we
won't.
need to maintain our roads, but
Yes.
we need to have their funding, and we need to make sure we get our fair share of our funding.
I think that,
Because I don't think we're getting, if
You're-
we're looking at, we're doing nothing this year in our township except the roads that we had presented to us.
well, like you and I said, we could probably sit down, I mean, between you and I, we could put a 5-year road plan together.
I told him I'd bring him a 5-year road plan.
And I know we could, okay, very easily, because of the amount of road work that still needs to be done over and above what's already been done. I mean, I get people that call me every once in a while on their road and different things. You know, the bad part about it is these county roads that are in our county. The county
No,
roads
there's
are,
no difference between county roads, they're all county roads.
I understand.
There's no township roads.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, we gotta change that.
Yeah, we
Well,
can change our language.
But that's what
There's no
that's,
township roads.
according to the county, but their roads are in worse shape than our roads are, the ones that we have been unquote
Right,
responsible
but
for.
we don't wanna we shouldn't be responsible for any of them. The county should be responsible for all of them, and if they have to be reasonably safe, then they should be reasonably safe for a reasonable prudent person to drive down.
I agree,
And
I
not
agree.
hit a pothole and go off the road,
Yeah,
or
hit a tree, yeah, no,
So-
I agree.
the way that, I mean, and that statute might be old, but until something else
Yeah.
comes
Well,
to replace it, it's still
Let,
law.
I mean, her and I are gonna meet with the county, we're
So
gonna meet with
Christine,
Jim
you
Cole.
wanna go with me instead of Jerry?
No.
Cause you and I could handle this.
We're gonna handle it, but
Jerry's not going
No.
on my side there.
I'm not gonna be in there bad mouthing, I'm gonna be right there sitting, like I told, my exact words were to her, Priscilla, if you could somehow pull this off, I will give you all the credit. I don't know that we can, but if we can, that's good for you. But I don't think that's the way it's gonna work.
Those commissioners are,
Huh?
those commissioners hate our office, like, my day job office.
Okay,
Well, you know,
so,
Michael make that, you know.
so the
might
question
show
is,
up.
I feel we
So I
need the
think-
80,000.
Okay, but the question is, do we wanna hold on the ARPA money until?
That defeats everything that we were going to do with that ARPA money as far
Right,
as getting that
it is,
spent before
but
the end
if
of
we
the.
can get that road fixed by county, why would we wanna use our ARPA money? Cause we have other things in this township that we could use. That ARPA money.
I'm 100% in agreement with you, but I don't think that's gonna change.
Do we wanna take that chance? I
Well,
guess
when
that's
are we
the
going
issue.
to, when will we know?
We won't know, we won't be meeting with them until the first week of April because he's on vacation,
And when does our ARPA money have to be spent?
March 31st.
So we
28.
can, so we
28.
can
Yeah.
hold that ARPA money, but we'd have to pay the extra $900
Right.
and file next year.
Right, and file again. That's why we were trying to close it out
And
this
we were
year, that
trying
way
to
we
close
could
it
file
out,
and
but
be done.
when we realized we were paying 70% of roads, and when we realized that the MTA book decided to help us out, and when I tried to do a grant for a $1 million road grant, and for $200,000, and when I had to call everybody to ask where I needed to do all this, and they said, oh, well, you don't even have jurisdiction of your roads. Well, if I can't add money into my budget, then I guess I'm not paying for those roads, if somebody else has jurisdiction over them.
What, me.
No, there again,
It says we can voluntarily, help out the county, but at 70%, Jerry, that's not, that's kind of,
I don't think that's volunteer.
that's not voluntarily
right,
stated.
but remember the wording in there.
Yeah,
All
I
they're
remember
legally
that.
obligated to do is fill the hot potholes and make them safe and
That's all
passable.
they do now.
That does not mean that they're gonna come out and re-asphalt this road, okay? They're just gonna keep, they're just gonna keep doing what they're doing.
At some point, they'll have to, because if they continuously fill with potholes, it's just gonna be like a big, huge bumpy mess, and it's gonna be dangerous, so it would be reasonably safe for travel.
I understand, Christine, I do. Like I said, I've been beating this up with them for the last 15 years.
Well, I don't think anybody has kind of put it that they are responsible, they have the 851, you know, they have an
Yes.
MCL law they have to follow.
Andy Grimes tried doing that a few years ago.
You know.
And they spent money last
We'll
couple
see how
years
this
doing
goes.
roads. Yeah, so,
So where do we wanna do with this 80,000? Do we wanna,
I say leave it
hold the
there.
ARPA money until we know where the road money is, or what do we do?
I say no. I say leave it there and spend it on that section of Broward Road.
Mm-mm. So we're gonna just let the county have their way at 50 or 70%?
I think our
I
meeting in
don't think
April is
so.
not gonna change anything, is what my opinion.
Well, I think it needs to go higher than Jim Cole.
Angie, if I call Jim
Angie,
Cole,
I'm not Angie.
Angie Klein.
Oh, okay. I was like.
No, I know you're not Angie Klein. So, I mean, I can have Jim make sure that Angie's available to meet with us too.
No, they just told me, butchered that. General fund.
Well, MTA, there's been questions on other townships that's 50-50, so we are 70-30.
Yep.
So there is a precedent that other townships are starting to ask why they're paying for county road also.
Right, like I said, we were 50-50 for a long time, and then that, that all changed. I would like to see us just go ahead and leave that there,
I'm going to hell.
because I'm pretty certain that the meeting that we're gonna have is not gonna change it.
If you do it, you take a risk of just not getting the problem taken care of. They may go and set, or do a half a mile someplace else instead.
Well, that's already basically on our dime that we've, said that we would do that, and any other road work that we would do. Now, we have to, see, and that's another thing too, and the timing is horrible with Jim going on vacation the end of the month, but, we have to make a decision, next week on what roads that we wanna budget this 80,000 for.
Where do you spend this 80,000?
No,
Yeah, we
Yes,
did.
no,
ARPA money, that's your
No.
ARPA money.
this is next year. This is 24-25.
No, this is your ARPA money that
No.
you put in 70.
No,
Yeah, this is how, yeah.
no, that's,
You haven't sent it out the door yet.
No,
You
I haven't sent it out the door, so this, 80,000 is ARPA is what we're using.
no,
Yeah.
we did not put any money up here for ARPA, because that money was supposed to be cashed out before 24-25
It was
budget
done
got
at
into
the
play.
last meeting, Jerry.
No, yeah,
Jerry.
we took money for some, like the rest of our ARPA
To
money
pay
and
the rest.
allocated it to the roads.
But in 23-24, not in 24-25.
Right.
This budget is 24-25. So we have put $80,000 of 24-25 money in roads. This isn't ARPA money, this is 24-25 money.
That's why we approved the, ARPA money to be used for roads for the next year.
That was
That
approved.
was exactly how we used, that's what we said at that meeting.
No,
No, don't,
No,
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 you
no,
ain't
no,
I
no,
can
no.
bring up
messing
the
with my
report.
roads.
Listen,
Hey, where's the draft meeting
because
minutes?
we took, that ARPA money had to be spent
That
It
would
doesn't
before,
have
That would
to.
help.
We chose to
we,
spend
excuse
it,
me,
so
we
didn't have
chose
pay
to
that
spend
back.
it before the end of the
After the last.
fiscal year. Okay, we chose to spend
Why we
it,
did the prepay.
that's why we did the prepay. So
And-
that's why that money was out of last year's budget. This money, this 80,000 is of 24-25 money, not 23-24 money,
Exactly.
okay?
No.
You with me?
Jerry has a brain.
You know, it's,
It's a miracle.
So we did the resolution last time for, to use that ARPA money to prepay, so that came out of 23-24.
So 80 is just what our township has.
So,
yes, yes. So that's where I was saying, so that, you know, so we've already approved Bravo Road with ARPA funds from 23-24. And then this 80,000 would be used to approve another road, whatever one that would be.
Smith.
So I guess-
Well, but
I
that's,
guess this is the question.
but we have to have something in there.
So we're spending 70,000 or 80,000, and we just approved for the,
76,000 for burial.
Bravo.
Why am I saying
Bravo.
Bravo? And also too, that was the full payment of the, well, it was on the paperwork, but that's the skip and, skip
passion
payment
sign.
and the chip and pause
She's
skip.
got
for
four.
that.
I wanted to review those.
Yes, no, Bravo Road,
Bravo.
yes.
Oh, I know. Sorry to break it.
That's why when you were saying that the other day on the phone, you and I weren't, we were talking two completely different things. You were talking one way and I was talking the other, and I just figured that you didn't, you know, that we weren't agreeing, not intentionally, but it just, you were
So,
talking one way, I was talking another.
So we spent 165,000 already on roads for the year, for 2023, 24.
Yes.
So 165 plus 79,000,
Wait, why would we do this?
so,
You're still squeaked under 250.
yeah, but the point of the idea that there wasn't we're funding the 250 out of the ARPA,
Yeah,
Okay.
which,
but that was all part of last year's budget, that ARPA money was in last year's budget.
yeah,
so
but your
that's-
budget was $340,000 in negative when we started.
Yes.
Right, but there.
So, that's why
Right.
when we did the ARPA money, that's why we were taking it over, and that's why you got the 80, that's why we did the 80,000. No, it ain't funny, Jerry.
That's-
We have to
No, you-
make sure this township.
There
is
again,
running
you and
the
I were
budget.
talking completely different, because I,
Because we're
the
negative
ARPA money-
340, we don't need to have a negative budget going out.
well, we're not that way now. I mean, we're 68,000.
Right, but we still gotta close out 23-24 budget, and now we have to take this 76,000 out of roads, out of the 23-24 budget.
Which,
So that's
we-
where you're
right, well, we
looking at it
technically already
different.
did though, because the revenue was up here. So we took it out of the ARPA money and then spent it in under the road. So the money's already there, it's already allocated, it just wasn't allocated to exactly that line item.
I know, yes.
But yet it technically was because it was in the budget. it was in the budget at 250, it just wasn't allocated ARPA money at that time. Right?
So we're looking at $160,000 for roads for this year, or, I mean, the last day of the year, or last month of the year, and then going into 24, 25, and we're not even responsible for the roads. I guess that's my question.
Well,
Because now we're looking at 80,000 that we just spent out of ARPA, or seven, and then 80 that we're giving them, so that's $160,000, Jerry, that we can do other things with in this
Priscilla,
township.
please understand, I'm not disagreeing with you. I agree with you 100% if that's the way it would work out, but I don't believe that's the way it's gonna work out.
So do we
I
have to
think what
decide?
she's trying to say is, should we be blackmailed into that?
Well, it doesn't matter if you wanna look at it that way or not. The facts are the facts.
I know.
If we don't spend any money on our roads, the only road work we're gonna get done, which they have nothing that I know of scheduled for Rives Township on the primary roads.
Right, so
Okay.
where's all that money at? Where's our money at for that,
I can't answer that.
so that's my whole point.
I
So why are
understand.
we throwing more money to
But if
roads? I
we
understand
don't-
roads are important,
Right,
but there is an issue that we have now, a law that says that we are not obligated, and now we're throwing more money into that obligation that
Priscilla,
doesn't.
I'm not disagreeing with you. Like I told you, if you can pull this off, you can have all the credit, but I don't think it's gonna work out that way. I really
So
don't.
I think using that ARPA money needs to be used for the 24-25 budget, not under the 23-24 budget, because we do that, we ran it through there because we, needed to close it out. We don't have to close it out, we can use it at that and use it for this 80,000, and because of that. So, I mean, we're not throwing $160,000 to a road in less than 2 months. Closing out one and going to another budget, I think that is,
I would like to see us leave it there. I would like to see us continue on with the road work. Like I said,
I
I'm
think
not
we need to
disagreeing.
borrow-
Well, it might change, so can we agree to leave it at 80 for now, and then
use
if
the
we
ARPA money
do,
that we've already allotted for.
Push the ARPA
Yeah.
money into 24, 25.
But I don't think that's not the way we made that motion.
No,
But we can
Motion-
amend that
we can
motion.
rescind it and amend it.
We can, but at the same time, we're not gonna, I mean, that'll be the only road that gets done if we do it that way, that's the only road that's getting done this year. And, that was one of the things that, like last year,
So
we
you
did
only
quite a lot
have
of
a
road
couple
work.
other roads on the list, Jerry.
Yeah, but look at the dollars for those roads.
There was 3 of them.
Yeah, and, those, it's the one thing, it's
You
the.
have Zion, cause I have my book.
They-
Zion's already in
Is
there.
Zion,
It's all
We got
done.
an extra $60,000 for roads.
Is,
Zion is done.
All of it?
For our share.
It's estimated
It's
cost
all,
98.
it's,
Okay.
Is that
That
for
was skip
skip
paving
paving?
in 23, I recommend adding another 500 of skip paving and chip
Yeah.
and skill in 24.
Yes,
No,
yes.
it doesn't.
So that would be another 6870.
Doesn't
So see, that would be
I'm
one
not
road that we
saying-
could do under the 80,000 if we left that in there.
Doesn't need it.
But it's one of those things, we look at the fire department, we look at roads. Those are two things that we can do for our
Right.
people in our township.
Or sidewalks.
I
that-
have no problem with roads and fire.
And I know you don't.
But I do have a problem when we have a county
I know.
that has got the jurisdiction
Like I
of
said,
these
the timing
And-
of all this with Jim going on vacation and us trying to do this budget is horrible timing. So there's nothing we can do about it. I just don't think, Priscilla, I don't think
Well, I'm
we're gonna
gonna
get
tell you,
anything to
Jerry, I
change.
don't think 70-30 is fair.
It's not. But what the hell in this world is?
Well, I'm not
You're
saying,
here.
but
So
what
we
I'm
start
saying
off
is,
with small
we,
increments and go back to 50/50.
I know.
That would be great,
Good job.
that would be great, but we are not, I'm telling you, this has been a fight for 15 years with the county, okay? It's not like we just had one conversation last week, okay? We've had conversation after conversation on all these road things. So, but let's leave the 80, Okay, like, leave the 80 in there, leave the ARPA money left alone for what we had already agreed on Browell Road. You and I will sit down with Jim Cole, if that changes, hey, if that changes, we can always say, okay, you know, it's not gonna change, we don't wanna spend the money. Even though if we earmark a road, okay, so we decide, at our budget, or excuse me, at our budget adoption meeting next week, if we decide to go, say with Zion Road, at the 68,000, we make that,
Zion's already done, they said.
it's not done. There's skip paving that needs to be finished, and it needs to be, chipped and polished. Okay? So if we do that,
Mary said
They
no.
already painted the school.
and if we do that, and then we meet with Jim Cole, and that all changes, then we can change our motion, not approve any, you know, don't do anything with the roads. And we can leave that 80,000 set right there. But I think because of the timing of everything, we need to leave things the way they are. We need to do something. We already agreed to do Berry. And I know that.
Browell.
What in the, Browell Road, sorry.
They both have Bs, they both have.
Yes, they do, they both B's, R's, there's probably an E in there somewhere, there is. So, let's,
So the Browell Road was,
So how much would it cost if we push the ARPA money into the next year?
$900. or whatever
Whatever
the
the
auditor does,
charge
or
would be.
we can do it, or file it ourselves, and we wouldn't have to do it.
We just have to do the federal report.
Right.
alright, let me ask you this, can we sleep on that? Because we don't have to make a decision on that until next week. Can we sleep on that?
Call the lawyer.
Let's sleep on that. Okay.
Something to consider.
Yeah, so let's think about that.
Okay.
And while you're over the next week, when you get a chance, pick up the phone and call somebody, you know, not.
Call my friend.
Go for it. What the hell's the matter with you? Okay, moving on from roads, no more roads discussion. Okay, collection site. Now, coincidentally, I just got a call today.
Coincidentally.
We've got somebody that's interested in purchasing the collection site from us,
The property?
the business, the, whatever amount of land that we would wanna let go and the actual collection site as a whole.
Somebody wants to know.
Why?
Hey, turn your phone, no phones.
In other words, they would be taking it over as a money-making.
It would be a business, yes, it would be taken, and there again, alls I told him was, we were having a budget meeting tonight, I would just send it out to the board, just see what their thoughts were.
And who might this person be?
When did they contact you?
When? Today.
Today?
Yeah, and I called Andy Grimes, he said, yeah, he contacted me 2 weeks ago about purchasing theirs, but theirs comes with 5 acres, and because of where theirs is located, it's back on the property over there, where ours is up front, you know, so we could piece off, you know, a little bit of land with that.
Necessity prices.
No, they had proposed to purchase, Henrietta for 100,000.
So this is a commercial business that wants to
Purchase,
basically do the same thing?
yes, they would do the same thing, it's just it would be a private entity, we would have no control,
Would
no
take us out
jurisdiction.
of the junk business.
But I think we
But it is a
have it,
moneymaker.
yeah,
But the
and
problem
I
is
think
now
we
we're
have it
at,
because we wanna be reasonable to our residents.
Yeah.
Right, and there again,
And I don't think that's gonna happen if somebody comes in and.
I wouldn't think so. How's that person gonna make money by keeping rates low? But there again, I told him, I said, look, I said, it's not my decision, I will present it to the board, if they're interested in something, in having a conversation, I'll let you know, and you can come over and present something.
What if we
Did
figure
you,
out on the
by
phone?
chance, get your stuff ready for Eagle? Because that paperwork has to be in by the 28th.
I called them today, left them a message, and of course, never got a return phone call. So it's right there on the kitchen table, so I'll be calling them tomorrow if I don't get a phone call. I talked to Andy on that, he has not received any documentation on that at all. We got a letter that says that, and there again, I don't measure things in cubic yards.
We are over, I talked to, Rick.
But we don't pay by cubic yard, we pay by yard, right?
Wait.
Wait.
Well, it's by weight, but obviously the containers are, you know, said containers, but Andy seemed to think that we were not, it had to be under 55 cubic yards at a time, 50 cubic yards at a time. And, I'm looking at some numbers and trying to do the calculations on that, and
Well, we need a
it's,
site plan and we need an operational plan before the 28th.
right?
And we need $750,
Yeah, it's a $750 fee.
so we might need to approve that fee if we're gonna
Well,
keep that
we'll know
collection.
more, we'll know
Well-
more next week.
How, you
Well,
gotta have it done before
I
the
know.
28th,
I-
so our meeting isn't till the
I know.
28th.
Well, like I
So
said, I'm
we'll
gonna
need to-
I'm gonna be on the phone,
Tonight.
I'll be on the phone with him again tomorrow. You know, I mean, there's nothing we can do about it, if the guy doesn't call me back, how can I ask questions? As far as, I mean, this is a surprise, we've never done this before ever. It's just something that is new, and even the lady that answered the phone, she said, I don't know why they change things and don't tell us anything. And then they passed me off to this other gentleman, and I left him a message, so, as soon as I know something, I'll let you know, but right now, I know nothing in regards to that.
But
So-
we need a motion tonight for the $750, because we do need to keep, if we're planning on keeping that collection site open.
Well, and we will,
then
but,
we'll need to pay that $750.
I say no at this time, I say let's do it next week,
But she's saying we can't, I think we
It's
should,
due on the
28th.
28th.
yeah,
and that is the
And it
28th,
has to be,
Yes. Really?
that would be the 28th we meet, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got that, I've got it, you shot it to me in a picture.
to register as a solid waste processing and transfer facility, go to this deck. Facilities applying for a registration must submit an operation plan, a site map, and 700 registration fee. For more about the registration notification process, please feel free to attach the brochures.
No, to see the attached brochure, did you have one?
Mm-hmm.
Cause it never, you didn't
Right,
shoot
but
that to me.
that doesn't,
It doesn't really tell you
doesn't
anything?
nothing.
Okay.
Does that fee go to the feds?
State,
Eagle State.
$750 registration fee.
Must register by March 29th deadline.
Because even Andy thought that maybe we would be covered under modern waste, because they're our hauler.
But we're still a transfer site.
Right, but these are questions that I need to ask this gentleman, but. you know,
No,
he
I
doesn't call me
think-
back.
I think at this time, would feel more comfortable if we make the motion to pay the $750 for us to keep this. That we need the $750 paid to continue having our recycle center,
Yeah.
correct, yeah. Then I think we need to do that.
Okay, so
You
make a
have-
motion,
Right here.
right,
Yeah.
okay, so make a motion to approve, $750 for the solid waste processing and transfer facilities fee,
Application, is it
registration fee.
registration?
I'll second that.
Okay, any further thoughts on that?
And then you're going to have the site plan and the operational
Yes.
ready before the 20,
I'll-
by the 27th.
I'll get it to you.
By the 27th.
I'll get it to you.
I heard a number coming out of those lips, yeah.
Because my understanding is if we don't do it, we can't continue.
Right. That's
They'll close
what,
us down.
that's what it
And
appears.
we don't know if we're necessarily going to sell it to us.
Right, well, oh, yeah, we don't, I mean,
I wonder if that
So I think we
registration
need to
is
have it in place.
transferable to another.
don't know.
Are you taking down these questions so you could ask?
Oh, trust me. I've got a list of questions for this gentleman. I mean, here's,
Motion for transfer, what did you say?
what are you been doing over there? We did that like 5 minutes ago. Motion to approve $750 for solid waste processing and transfer facilities registration fee.
And that's through Eagle.
And that,
What does Eagle stand for?
Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy. And Christine, supported that. Was there, if there isn't any further discussion?
So you made a motion and Christine supported.
We'll roll call. I don't remember where we left off. Should we start with you, Priscilla?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Christine?
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah.
I'll vote yes, motion carried. Okay, and as far as the budget itself, we didn't really change it much, it's down $2,400.
We did add in for the equipment, 7,500, and that's because they need a new roof on the shed.
The one out back, the big one,
The big shed out back.
not the
It
little
needs
one.
some roofing issues, they've got shingles coming off
Red,
at the collection site,
The back building,
the back building, so,
which we haven't put shingles on that thing, I bet in 25 years.
so, Rick has asked for that a few years back, and so we put 7,500 in for,
Yeah, we haven't got an estimate.
we don't know how much it is, but
It should be less than that, with no bigger than it is. I mean, it's long and, turn your damn phone off. It's long,
is it possible that we could upgrade it instead of putting asphalt shingles?
go in the middle,
Yeah.
yeah.
definitely is a possibility.
Be better.
We can have it, when we have it looked at, we'll have it, priced out that way.
Yeah.
No,
Maybe we'll have the Amish price out,
sure,
do one of the bids from Amish.
yeah, I can get ahold of John Schwartz,
Yeah, that would be good.
I mean, they're close, and he's looking for work close. Which I would too if I drove a horse to work. Yeah.
He builds houses, right?
Yeah, you want me to shoot you his number? Yeah, it's his boys that do most of the work, they'll get you in touch with him. Zoning enforcer,
No, you skipped sewer.
Yes, you did.
did I? Sure did.
We need to talk about that.
What do you want to talk about?
Your $300 a month.
Okay.
Carol and I do additional services, payroll, collection site, or collection. She does collection of the,
Yep.
sewer. I do the sewer billing and the computers, and we make $47.11 a month. And you make $300 a month for sewer, and there's been several months
But there has
that
not been
we've
much
not
activity.
been activity,
Yep.
and we're asking our community members to increase their price on sewer bills, and we're not cutting your budget. That's gotta look at.
Right now, I mean, I've gotten a lot of Mystic tickets right now. We got consumers out there gonna be reburying, new, gas lines. They're going to all plastic, they got copper
Is
rated
that what all
galvanized.
the green
On-
mistakes are?
On Main Street
And down Palmer.
and down Palmer, yep, that's all,
And
Oh, yeah, my
I
yard's
saw
full of
stuff
that crap.
up on Rives Eaton Road at the corner of Berry,
That's
around
annoying.
that area.
I didn't
So,
see that yet,
I
but,
don't know whether there's stuff over on.
there again, I mean,
Cooper and Maple Lane.
I would take a little bit off that, but I don't wanna take a ton off of it. Because to be honest with you, if we're gonna take it off too bad, I would just soon pass that off to somebody else. Somebody else can do it. Because it is nothing short of a pain in the, butt.
So we'll go half with you, $150 a month.
Nope.
That'll give you 1,800.
No, I won't do it for
You
that.
should be
Okay.
happy, I was gonna go 100.
I won't do it for that, because there's too much involved. There's too
What,
much involved.
what is involved, because on your monthly reports, there's nothing.
Yes,
So I
the
guess that's my
Mystic
question.
the Mystic tickets are, right now, that's where the pain's at, and, we
I
get
only had two
two,
mystics, cause I get the mystics before you do.
don't think so.
I do too. I get
No,
them on my little computer.
no, that's all been changed.
When did they change that?
When did they change that? Cause I still just got a mystic
When I did
yesterday.
the thing.
I got one today.
I did the thing around
Take
the,
it.
for the bowlers and
I
stuff,
mean-
at Township Hall, that was last year, summertime.
It wouldn't have been, but, right, it wouldn't have been sewer, because I knew where the sewer was there. The sewer,
But I had to still get somebody out there to go and spray lines and all that
correct,
stuff.
but I didn't have to spray lines or anything, because I knew where you were working, and I knew where the sewer comes out.
After some-
Because the sewer, you can tell right in
I-
the
The only
parking
thing I
lot.
was concerned about is gas.
Right, and those,
I didn't know where those were. so-
and that's somebody else's
I was
problem.
happy to see that, but, I think she got.
Yeah.
So what's your price?
Yeah, what's your price, because,
Let me think about that and I'll get back with you next week.
you haven't done any cuts, we've all cut.
No?
Mhm. Yeah, oh, and one other question, I gotta go back, cause I forgot my other little,
Just do what she
Um,
does, come up later and be like, I did this. and
Um,
I did this."
so we get $165 a month, our fire board meetings,
Oh, we do?
yeah.
That was 145.
Yeah, I thought it
No,
was 145.
you guys get $145 a month for your trustees. That we can't change because
Oh,
of.
no, they don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do.
that's what
Per
they get.
meeting,
For the
per
fire
meeting,
meeting.
per meeting.
Per diem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your per diem, we can't touch that, but
Right.
we get $165, every time we go to a joint fire board meeting,
That's the executives and the trustees?
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
does.
No.
So, I would present that we go down to 80, because we're there 2 hours. I mean, 165, we're looking at keeping this budget down where we need to go,
What do the trustees make on like planning commission?
80. That's why I went with this, everybody gets paid 80, for other board member, or other boards get 80.
That's fine, but I don't think that that's gonna save a significant amount of money twice a year.
It's not, and
But
that,
it doesn't, but it's,
Yeah, very
the
limited
point of the
help.
idea is
Her-
everything helps.
her and I, this was one of the disagreements we were having on the phone. This, because it's not just the meeting.
I mean, you're saying, it was pretty much, we're gonna save $1,000 a year.
Right.
And that's not
No.
really.
But here's the thing, it's not,
But-
you know, there's, whether it be
No,
fire
but then
department,
but if you look at it this way, if you save 1,000 here, and we literally cut 1,000 in both of our deputies, you're $3,000. I mean, you're looking at
No,
an
I'm fine with
overall
that.
budget instead of one item.
Right.
That's where I'm looking at.
But
So if you
here's-
look at it, $165 for less than 2 hours,
No.
165 divided by 2, you're at $82.50 an hour. There's nobody that makes that, maybe, I mean, I do.
nurses make it.
I was gonna say, I can't
Don't
say that. But I can't, but I'm just saying,
But, okay.
we shouldn't be taking
All right.
that amount of money.
Now we wanna look at the other side of things.
Okay, you tell
Okay.
me what else.
Alright, and it doesn't matter if it's fire meetings or regular, the month of the trustee, okay? Their job's not just here. Our job is not just at those meetings, okay? We have to have meetings, we meet with the fire chief, we talk to the fire chief. We have all these other things that fall into place. It's not just the 2 hours at the meeting,
It
okay?
is the 2 hours for, there's some of us that are
Well,
just,
if we have review of the budget prior to the meeting.
Right.
Right.
See-
Melanie sends us all of the review for all the monthly
For the
bills,
payroll,
the
bills, yeah.
invoices, and so we have.
So it's
that.
not just the physical 2 hours that you're spent at the meeting. And as a trustee from before, for 12 years, that was the only pay I got, you know, for being a trustee. And that didn't cover, you know, if you got a phone call from Gerald, hey, I know you're in town, can you run down and talk to this guy at the building, you know, at the fire department, or at the ball field? You know, so there's other things that fall into play with that I would,
well, you don't think
I would
that
say
there's
no.
not a whole lot of fall in play that Carol and I do, that we don't even put on
I
the
have
pay
told
anywhere.
you more than once that the clerk and the treasurer don't get paid enough. And there's no bullshit.
But we're not taking pay
I
increases
understand
to
that.
make sure
I
this
understand that.
township board is right where we need it to
But
be.
you've got trustees that make $1,500 a year,
Oh my
a supervisor that makes
Way more than he should.
18.5. Well, that's not very damn nice. I tell you you're underpaid, you tell me I'm overpaid.
Yeah, that's super
Well,
unprofessional.
I didn't get this budget until I had to call you.
Well,
So,
yeah.
And, oh, who had the number?
Right, well, you
Yeah.
always have to put the numbers in.
Oh,
But-
no, but who had, oh, what numbers do you have?
Well-
What numbers do you have?
So, I will, I mean, if there was a motion made today, I'd vote against it. Because that's not the way that, you know, there's more things that happen than just at that meeting. And that would be my opinion on that. I would say no, I disagree with that.
But I'm just looking at I mean, so, I'm the one doing the payroll or the bills every month. I am looking at those bills, and don't you think I don't ask questions,
I know you do.
you know,
I know
on
you do.
those?
I know
So,
you do.
I mean, the review that is getting done is usually the who's doing the bills. You know what I mean?
No, I understand completely, and I
So,
don't,
I can
you know.
see valid points on both sides.
I would not like to see it change. I think it needs to stay the same. I mean,
So,
Because it comes down to like,
It's $160 a year, it's not a deal.
right, because it's only 2 meetings,
Right.
2 joint meetings.
right.
So it's not like it's a ton of money. I mean, granted, you know, yeah, that would be $160 per person.
so it'd be $825 cut,
Yeah,
huh?
100,000.
you know,
Right. Okay, well, I'm just bringing it up,
you
you guys can
can mull it over.
mull it over, but I think we would need to mull over the sewer wage. Cause I'll be bringing your,
Mull it
how
over.
many months that you haven't done much,
Well, that goes on that report.
that goes on that report. Hey, you didn't, that
Well, then-
report is what tells the story.
Maybe Jerry just needs to include all of his work onto the report.
Well, that's the tricky thing. I mean, just like,
He can't even
I
get
had-
his report done every month, let alone.
I had 3 calls yesterday from one guy at Consumers about Main Street.
Well, maybe you could have like a little, maybe instead of like your phone, we could get you, cause you don't like your computer doesn't
Oh,
work,
that
maybe
piece
like
of
a
junk.
tablet, and then you could mark down every time you do something, and then you could just be like, look at it, Priscilla, here it is, and you just turn it into an email and send
Well,
it to her.
and that's, you know, I think I included last month, I only had like 3 Mystic tickets, which was no big deal. And some of those are just discarded, okay? You see where it's at, and it's on the opposite side of the road from where the sewer's at, or it's not even on the road that the sewer's even on. I mean, I get calls all the time, Prime Road, we don't have sewer on Prime. You know, so you just have to, you know, disregard it and, sign off on it. But, yeah, it's,
So
no,
come back next week, I have a couple things you need to come back with.
I can imagine.
One, your sewer wage that you would like, or we would like.
$400 a month. You asked me what I'd like.
Within reason, what options we're gonna have for that, roads,
Well, the roads, yeah, well, we've already got the
We've
roads.
already discussed roads, let's,
Yeah. Yeah, so we already know that we have to make a decision.
and then
on
the fire, board meetings.
I already told you my thoughts on that.
Okay.
All right,
Yes, it's zoning.
zoning,
yes, we are on the zone.
zoning,
We're getting there.
there again,
Looks like we've made a cut, looks good.
you know,
I noticed he's only spent 3,300 for the fiscal year.
Where are you looking at? I
Down
see
3,000.
8250.
Activity. Up to this, well, up to the next one.
Yeah, he only had mileage, and then he ordered,
I'm talking about before that, on the first page at 703.
Oh,
Oh, oh, no,
All
that's
the
sewer.
way through there, we got 35.
that's sewer,
that's
that's sewer,
sewer, that's,
Sewer?
yeah.
that's
Oh,
sewer.
that's sewer. Zoning enforcer starts, and then it's the same.
Thing, so, okay. No wonder I can figure that out.
So he does his salary, he did
All right.
$30.79 for, cards that he leaves, the zoning inspector
Okay.
cards. And then just his mileage, he hasn't had any extra.
No, and you took him down 2,000 anyway for the budget.
On the pay.
I took
On the
him down,
salary.
we went down quite a bit on legal.
I think that's good.
Okay. Next one is Parks and Recs.
Woo!
Utilities, park mowing, park improvements. Put 10,000 in there.
Is
Should
that
get
for
us-
mowing and the parks and rec?
So that gives us a total of 14.4, so we should be okay there. I talked to Jake the other day.
How's that
He
okay?
has some numbers coming in for us next week.
Jerry, can I take a minute?
No, you cannot,
Okay.
but I thank you.
I got some information
information for you, I thought I'd give it to you, you wanted it.
Okay, we'll look at, you can give it to us after the meeting, Mary.
No, I'll do a public comment.
And, so yeah, I mean, we should be good there. Historical site, that is the, monument downtown. And don't know of any names we have to add.
And
but we have-
portion of taxes, we can't really
Correct.
change that, so I think that we're.
So,
Those are gonna go.
Yeah, those will
those should
go
go
away.
away because they are all in every line item now. So we don't have to,
This is what we voted on earlier.
Like the
Yeah, budget.
2,500.
the 17,000.
Yeah, the 17.
So, okay, there we are, we reviewed the budget. If everybody's okay, we'll go to public comment.
So the only two changes I have to do is the 200 and the 100 under supervisor.
See, you're saying you're making adjustments. God, you're mean.
You only need $300.
Yeah.
Then we have to review sewer.
Sewer's not due until July.
Sewer budget?
Yeah.
No, it starts right now.
We have to prove that, that goes to USDA in like June or July. That's not when we have to do that today.
Judy had it all on,
Maybe she just had it together.
I mean,
yeah,
it
because she
doesn't
didn't have a
matter.
budget, she didn't have a budget in December, we had to redo the budget.
That's
That's
because,
because of 2022 and 23.
that's because we don't normally do the sewer budget until, June or July. That's why it wasn't in there, because didn't she bug out like in April or May?
You know, you have to do fiscal year.
Well, no, I mean, we got it, so let's go ahead and do it quickly.
I mean, it's pretty
Yeah,
standard.
right. That, is it sewer repairs that you've got at 10,000?
Yeah, but we have already spent 16,000 this year.
Right. Well, there's just so much uncertainty there. That if we switch that down to 10, I mean, any one thing that can happen that could, blow that 16,000, or that $10,000 out of the water, or out of the ground. Can we increase
Well,
that?
we have actually, so our activity, our total activity is 33.5, and we're allotted 40,100, so.
It's been underwater for.
We're underwater on the sewer,
Mhm.
even with the increase, of the $10, we're still under.
Never gonna catch up on every $10 every 6 months.
Yeah, we're
So
gonna have to
that's
hit it
why
again, yeah.
it's, if we pay it off,
At least we're not accruing interest.
right, we're not accruing interest, that's why we're looking at the 150,000,
Okay.
so that we don't have negatives here and and still taking a lot of money out.
Yeah, you can, but that's the thing, because everything in regards to that, it costs, everything related to sewer, just the numbers are just inflated so bad on any type of repair that we have. Yep.
So you think
So do
that,
we wanna go to 15 and,
Yeah, I would feel better at that, I would feel better at that, on the repairs and stuff, the sewer. Take that to 15,
so that gives us a deficit of 34,000.
yep. Alright. Okay, now can we go to public?
We have to look at I put the cemetery items in, here that we deal with that budget here, a
It's
workshop.
a workshop,
Yeah.
I did confirm that, East Rives, if you wanna make a note on that, East Rives has $7,006 in perpetual care. But she did say that there was gonna be some tree work that has to be done, they've got some big trees that have to come down. And then, of course, Jones Road, or excuse me, Draper, I'm surprised they still have 3,000 in their fund. And,
And we have Jones, did you see that we had that this year on time?
right, yeah, you said you called her. Yeah, she's always been late on getting hers in there. They've got 16, almost 17,000 in CDs for perpetual care. Yeah, I mean, would we be out of line to approve 2,500 for the other two and maybe 1,000 for them? I mean,
I mean, they do have,
right,
They are a little bigger, aren't they?
no,
Than
no,
the one?
Draper's the biggest one.
Draper's the
And
biggest.
that one is probably the size of both the Jones and East Rives together.
They all three do have cemetery lots available.
Yes,
They did,
yes, they all three do, so they
they
will have
just
continual
promote that
sales.
to the,
The bad part about it is these cemeteries, is the associations can operate them a lot cheaper than the township can. And the minute we take them over, all they're gonna be is a drain on the checkbook, period. We've got three now, and that's all we do, we just keep paying to keep them up, and, you know, a tree falls, we have to pay to clean it up.
I think, I'll move to this thing, probably.
So there again, we just, we're not voting on it tonight, but the paperwork's there.
I mean, they do take care of it, everything is,
They do.
and all the cemetery, like the one, what's, so.
The one right, the one right by you, Joe.
Right, no, I
Yeah.
know that,
North of Henry, yeah.
that's a little tiny,
No, that's the big one.
like the Rives, the one on Rives Eaton, or Rives Junction Road.
Rives Junction, that's the big one, that's Draper
Oh, that is
Cemetery.
bigger?
That's the biggest one we've got in the
South
town.
of Maple Bay and north of Henry.
So
And then-
that one,
on the east side.
And then East Rives is right over here on Easton Road, on the east side of the road. And that was a pretty good sized one.
And this one over here on State is.
That's Cole Cemetery. And that one, is to my knowledge, we don't have any open lots there. We've never had, we have, I think.
that's when I was thinking of the little one.
Yeah, right up on top of the hill, that was, I think Mrs. Randy was the last one to be buried up there. And she was probably buried there in like 1990.
Okay.
And
The one on Broadway, what's the name of that?
that's Rives Cemetery.
That's Rives.
Yeah, but we haven't had anybody buried up there, I think,
The one on Johnson and.
no, Berryville and Baseline Road, that's Walker Cemetery. And we still have lots available there, I believe. And still have empty spots that people have purchased.
Cool, we're gonna discuss that next week, right?
Yep, that one we can handle next
Move on
week.
to public comment.
Yep. So moving on to public comment, is that all right with everybody? Okay, moving on. Oh, I don't have anybody wrote down.
The list is back here, Jerry.
Yes, ma'am?
I'll go first.
I'll bring it up to you, you are first.
Oh, there is something on there? Somebody did sign up?
Yep.
Okay.
This is work that, 100 hours of work that our committee has done to prepare for the parks and Recs. There's the bids. There, we wrote a cover letter telling you you've got 30 days on these bids, make any kind of a decision. I got 2 more bids than you did. And all we ask is that, we put a lot of hours in this for the playground, and that, you wanted them by the 18th of March, there they are. Your toilets, everything. You gave us $10,000 a couple weeks ago in last year's budget. It was said. So if you write a check, these people will take a $10,000 deposit, and we recommend that you go with one company because of warranties and freight costs. You will see that all on their budgets. They've also, a couple of them have said that they are willing to drop the wood chips, cause they have to be buried 12 inches of the liability, that we can put them in. If you have a local contractor, they will work for grading it down, or shaking or ground level.
We'll get a wheelbarrow.
I can ask groups of, Boy Scouts, community service, we will get those chips in if they drop them right there. But they're there, there's phone numbers, there's every company I got, one's Fowlerville, one's, down by Ohio. 20,000 isn't gonna get us, but maybe a swing set, but I guess if you guys don't wanna do it, and you want the liability of what you got there, go for it.
Oh, that stuff's gonna disappear Monday.
I wouldn't recommend you do that, Jerry, because that's probably the budget you've given us,
We,
we won't have no. services.
liability says we have to.
Well,
How, what about Monday? I already took a vacation day to do that.
we're not coming down there,
No, I'm serious.
we're not
No,
doing this.
So did my sister and her husband to come help, and they don't even live in the community.
And Jeff almost.
No, I called,
I understand, you called the day before, and I'm
I
not
called
mad at you,
Jake.
shit happens, but
I called Jake and
But we need to do it on a weekend when people can get in and out.
It's
Well, I
all
guess you
yours,
and
There's
Jake are in
I
now,
even
then.
picked up a bag for you to take everything.
okay. Okay, best sites.
I, for once in my life, requested a FOIA, and I got a response as to how much it's gonna be, whatever. So I have emailed twice now, trying to get an appointment to come in and pay for it, and can't seem to get a response, so I brought payment now, and I kind of expect it in a timely fashion, seeing how I can't get into the office, I need a receipt.
I won't be able to give you a receipt today.
You can write it on a notebook paper.
Write it on a piece of notebook.
Okay.
No, cause that isn't,
I've got it on
that
video
doesn't
that you
count
paid her, Beth.
our-
Yeah, we checked on
You have
audio.
to have a receipt number.
I think everybody knows that you paid $9.35 for a FOIA.
Can I mail you a receipt?
You don't have to mail it, but I'd like a response as to when I can get in the office. And I know it's not you, it should be the FOIA coordinator telling
I will
me.
be there tomorrow.
She's there on Thursdays, so she has hours every Thursday.
Don't know
It's been
this.
on the door for months.
I don't come down. But it should be the FOIA coordinator saying, hey, you know, can you come down on this day? I asked for a day. And I know it's not you, but it's frustrating.
On my responsibility here, do you trust me to mail you a receipt? If I take this today? Okay.
Or if they can send it, they're supposed to send the thing digitally, even if you can send it with the FOIA. I'm fine with that. All right.
Okay, thank you, Beth. Joe Beth Carlton?
Yeah, I can see, I don't know, Carol, if you've actually gotten it, I did drop off my payment of 90 cents,
I
cause,
did receive it.
okay, I need a receipt, don't worry about it, just whatever. But there has been a bit of an issue with FOIAs and things like these payments of 30 cents, 40 cents, 90 cents, whatever. $9, because it does appear that people are getting told, myself included, I'm going to go ahead and speak for Beth right now. People are being told late at night on Thursdays or on Fridays what their payment is, and then having to wait until the following Thursday to pay the treasurer directly if they want to pay the treasurer directly. I ended up putting mine in the Dropbox, but I can see where some people wouldn't be comfortable with that. So there really needs to be a better system for releasing records. If you're going to send over invoices at 10, 11 o'clock at night, then, you know, be prepared to take a payment at 10 or 11 o'clock at night. Even if you don't process the payment, it can still be taken. I didn't process payments either, but I could take payments. Speaking of FOIAs, actually, since I know Bryce is holding up like some MTA newsletter, I don't know which one that is, but I would strongly encourage all of you to go back to your February issue, because all the Q&A that month is about FOIAs. Great read. And I'm surprised I didn't see it tonight. It may be under things, because, you know, obviously I'm just taking notes and I can't see what you're looking at. But I did wonder, where is the trustee salary and when is that going to be put back into place? Because I thought that that was going to be kind of fixed at some point once We got a new clerk, a new treasurer, it's been like almost a year at this point, it doesn't seem to be put back, and hey, if things change and people had to pay it back later, then they have to pay it back later, but I do recall this coming up quite a few times where it was going to be put back into place, like reinstated for the time being, and here we are at a budget meeting, and I didn't hear a single word about it. Yeah, that's about it. Oh, and with the road thing, why don't you guys Jerry, why don't you ask if you can call the lawyer and talk to the lawyer about the road thing too with this Jackson County issue, since you guys are like at each other's throats about it. Maybe involve legal a little bit too, just to see if they can help a little bit with whether or not, like this responsibility of Jackson County and everything. By the way, I did look it up and we are 8th in population size for Jackson County. So there are 7 communities bigger than ours. Blackman's number 1 with like 26,000 people. We're number 9, wait, 8 or 9? 8 or 9 with 4,700. So there are a lot of people in front of us, and I mean, Blackman's roads suck.
Yeah, that's
Actually,
right.
all the roads in
That's
Jackson
like
County
kind of-
suck, so, you know, it's, just figured I'd throw that out there, that I did look it up, and we are, you know, not halfway down, but we're pretty far down the list in terms of size, if that's what it goes by. That's it, I guess.
Okay, thank you.
I was just gonna say, I'll meet with you after, and I got word today about that second to the end thing that you talked about, trustees.
Oh, trustee salary?
The attorney had mentioned that we have to continue with the resolution that,
Which one?
Was on file.
that's on file with us.
Aren't they
And
both
that
on
would be
file?
the one that Judy McCord has. Until we have another, it comes up through the legal system.
Final disposition, basically.
Okay, is that everybody on our public comment list, Jerry?
It is.
Okay.
It is not. I thought you signed up.
I'm sorry. I
Oh,
was
Jerry.
I was dabbling all over this
Jerry,
thing.
you're done.
I'm sorry, Mary
You're
Hall.
in good favor with
Mary
me this
Hall.
week.
Mary Hall.
Okay.
Would you like to
So she
speak?
gets double time,
I
right?
do, I get 6 minutes now.
No.
Yes,
So I just want to bring up a point that we, as the Parks Committee, we have been told that, we have to follow OMA. We've been told that we were snaking around, which was
Uncalled for.
uncalled for. And, I want to remind, number one, according to the MTA, we do not have to follow the OMA. And it's not that we have an issue with following it, we don't have a problem with that, like, we encourage people to come, I post the meetings on Facebook. However, we have someone giving difficulty being able to post the notices, or even, and my total concern here is that number one, we're being told that Bryce has to send those notices because he's the liaison. However, on the PC board, Christine is the liaison, but Jim Lindstrom sends the notices.
That's true.
Number two, it's highly disturbing that we have people trying to block something so good from people that are doing things out of their own time and care for the community. I put all kinds of, myself, Mary, Bryce, everybody has put their own money into making this committee run, and it just feels like we're getting stepped on every single step of the way. And I'm not mad at you, Jerry, for missing. Congratulations on the new daughter-in-law.
Thank you.
But it's very frustrating that we're trying to do something good and we're constantly hit with roadblocks. It just doesn't seem fair, and it doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem ethical, and I think that there should be some training done on everything across the board. I think there needs to be more in the budget for training for our board, period, end of story. Thank you very much.
Here.
We can
Okay.
adjourn now.
No, that was it. I
Okay.
missed
Is
Mary.
everybody-
Yes,
okay.
I'm,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
all in favor, say, is there support?
I have a second or support.
Is there support?
I'll do that.
No.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no motion.
Mary, give me that.
I'm looking at what these estimates say,
I gave it back to her.
but I have no idea what the hell they are.
But she went.
I have no able to help us from there.
Okay, so here's what you need.
Like, right here.
Okay, no, okay, so if you get your flyer.
Those
you
are
gotta take
five-year,
this out.
those are five-year programs.
So,
I'm just waiting for you.
here's the.
Right, I'm seeing it too.
So bubble year.
Oh, so these aren't, so this isn't one giant piece of equipment, this is something that is all these things
Different
that you
pieces,
put
yeah,
onto
they
there.
put it together.
Oh, okay.
So like there's different items, like maybe this could be like not having it, but then if you want to add no wheel, then that would be the added thing. It's kind of like, you can like a base car and you add things to it.
Right, right, right.
This one here,
55.
he went way above what we suggested.
Which one are you basically
Put that
ready?
one in there,
Yeah.
she's just going with.
This gentleman is from Powell. We told them, like a sunset, a slide, maybe a merry-go-round, very basic playground, but made it level for kids, event swing.
I know when.
These are constantly, they will work with us, again, the prices change after 30 days.
That one's like.
It's what you know, and this one, yeah, game time is the worst.
This one.